We have some news this morning about the rapidly approaching first Republican primary debate. It has appeared thus far like Trump is probably not going to participate in that debate. This is very, I mean, listen, I think it would be good for him to participate. I think it's in the interest of democracy for all of these candidates to have to participate in debates. That includes Donald Trump, that includes Joe Biden. But he and his advisors sort of feel like, he's way ahead. Why take the risk? Why dignify these other opponents by stepping on the stage? The folks at Fox and Friends were on their airwaves trying to implore Trump to reconsider what appears to be his movement in the direction of skipping the debate. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
The crowd was mixed on whether he should debate or not.
Right.
People want to see Trump debate. Number one, it's extremely entertaining and it's good. And what I did recently is watch back the debate with Joe Biden, where I thought he didn't do well. The more I realized he actually did well, much better than you would think.
Right.
But the moderator kept interrupting, number one. And number two is Joe Biden just kept lying.
Well, I think if Donald Trump is polling the audience, saying, hey, do you think I should do that debate? Because he was very clear. He was emphatic. Nope, I'm not going to do it because I'm way ahead. And we have heard him say that, my advisors are telling me I shouldn't do it. Obviously, he's having second doubts about the advice he's getting from his advisors. Because if he's polling the audience and I just don't see, okay, the debate's in 2 weeks here on Fox. I just don't see Donald Trump sitting at home watching along with 40 or 50 million other Americans when he sees Ron DeSantis in that center square. That would absolutely drive him crazy.
Well, and don't you want him to do it? Because
yeah,
look,
of
I know
course.
he's angry at everything that he feels this administration of the Democrats, the DOJ, have put him through. But don't take it out on the Republicans, because Republicans want to see him up on stage. And don't take the voters for granted. Yes,
right.
He is ahead by a lot. But to see him up there on the stage would just be wonderful, because we want to see how they interact. We want to hear their policies.
That's how he became Donald Trump the first time.
He made it entertaining.
He blew everybody away at them.
So Fox News is hosting the debate, so obviously
Yeah, I was going to say,
they have a
pretty
vested
self-interested.
interest. I mean, they're right about not taking the voters for granted. Like that's all fair. The part that I actually thought was the funniest was when Kilmeade started doing revisionist history on his first debate performance against Joe Biden, which everyone basically panned because he was so obnoxious. I think that's the one too where it came out after the fact he had COVID at the time. So I'm wondering if they had him hopped up on some kind of something to overcome the his mood because of COVID. Anyway, he was so obnoxious. He didn't let Joe Biden get a word. He made Joe Biden so sympathetic when all you had to do was sort of stand back and let Joe Biden hang himself. But he really came off very grating. So I found it amusing that Kilmeade was like, actually, I watched it. You did great, sir. Right. I'm sure you do great again. The public wants to hear from you, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest kiss-ass things I've ever
amazing.
seen. Just shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, let's be real here. As you said, this is purely self-interested. Don't forget, the day that Trump was indicted, actually, that night, he had dinner with Fox News executives who were at Mar-a-Lago to basically beg him to show up to the debate. We do, however, have some news that just broke last night. Trump gave an interview to Newsmax's Eric Bolling where he said two things. He will let us know next week about the debate, okay? But two,
Trump
I will
not. Show around it.
Two, I will not sign the RNC debate pledge. Well, the RNC pledge, which says that you will support the eventual nominee, is a precursor to participating in the debate. So I think we have a little bit of a taste. He also recently has been going after Chris Christie, calling him a fat pig. Or no, sorry. He was told not to call him a fat pig, and he recounted that story. Classic Trumpian. Christie posted the video and just said, "Come say it to my face. I'll see you at the debate."
Yeah.
Trying to challenge him. I don't think Trump's going to show up. I just think at this point, specifically because of Christie, Trump has it in his head that Christie ended Marco Rubio's campaign. Trump also doesn't want to basically validate all the other candidates by letting him take a shot. He's leading so far ahead in fundraising and the polls. And I actually thought one of the funniest truths, I guess, that he put out is, I'll let them debate and see who I should pick as vice president. Just kind of putting himself above it. But of course, on a small d Democratic level, it's awful. You have to debate.
Yeah.
You really do have to. It's a terrible norm to set. It's one that we shouldn't normalize Biden and or Trump. If you earn it, if you want it, then you got to earn it.
Yeah.
I really believe in that, but people are letting take it a pass. So I don't know. I'm in the minority, apparently.
It's pathetic that it's very likely that the two major party nominees, neither one of them is going to have to face a single debate question during the primary. They're going to be able to win without being subjected to even the baseline of Democratic scrutiny. And it is, we talk a lot about norms. That is a new norm that will be set in the future. Every front runner is going to be like, they didn't, so I'm not going to do it either. And that is incredibly disappointing. It's an incredible degradation of democracy. And, it's not a surprise that these two men would be so craven. But nevertheless, it doesn't make the blow land any softer. So listen, I will say I could see him coming out next week and being like, yeah, I'll debate, but I'm not signing the pledge. And then basically kicking it to the RNC and making them make the tough decision. So that way he has an excuse of it's not like, I wanted to debate. They just wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me on the stage. And so he sort of, creates the own conditions where they have to block him or call his bluff or whatever. I don't know. I could see that also playing out potentially.
That's smart. I actually think you're 100% right. You'd be like, I'm happy to do it, but I won't do that pledge. That's a very smart thing. It is weird, though, that they include, I don't know if it's always been a part of it, because, one of the most important moments of the first debate, 2015, is when they were like, well, everybody here, what did he say? Is raise your hand if you commit to backing the eventual Republican nominee, and he didn't raise his hand. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So this is clearly something that's kind of been baked in for a long time. I do think it's definitely odd that he decided, that they decided to add that in there. At the same time, it's not, I don't know. Do you think it's a smart move on behalf of the RNC? Because, even if he doesn't commit, it's fine enough. Let him debate anyways. Let's just get the guy on the stage.
Already blew up the stupid loyalty pledge, because back in 2016, no, I don't think that there should be a loyalty pledge. I think people should be able to run, and if they decide they don't like the nominee, they should be, free individuals to make their own choices about it. Handcuffing everybody ahead of time, I think, is ridiculous. I think it is also anti-democratic. And Trump blew this up last time around, because what happened, Saagar, is they had this loyalty pledge because there was all this question of, what will Trump do if he loses? Is he going to run third party? What is he going to do? And he signed the pledge and then immediately was like, nah, I'm not really going to follow this thing. So
then what's the point?
Which is, so that's what Chris Christie has been saying, because Christie has no intention of backing Trump if Trump ends up being the nominee. So what he's been saying when he's asked about the loyalty pledge is, I will take the loyalty pledge exactly as seriously as Donald Trump did last time around. So he's technically signing it, but basically throwing out there I think this is garbage and I'm not really going to abide by it in the same way that Trump got away with not abiding by it last time. So yeah, I think the loyalty pledge is BS.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah. We certainly will. As Trump used to say, we'll see what happens.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.